My name is Javier Salazar Rojas, also known as Deported artist. I've been deported here in Tijuana for 11 years now. Since my deportation, I've used my artist platform to speak up for migrant rights and to give us deportados a little bit more visibility. Also, to change the narrative around the deportados. Sometimes when we get deported, there's a whole stigma behind being a deported person. So I've been trying to change that narrative just through my artwork and through workshops. When I first arrived here in Tijuana, I was anxious, I was depressed, and I was alone. And most of that was due to just being separated from my family. I came out here, I started painting and using art as a way to deal with my emotions, to deal with my anxiety, my depression. Now I teach mental health through art class, and I offer it to other deportees here in Tijuana, just to give them that coping mechanisms and the tools to deal with their emotions. A lot of us, we've been through very traumatic experiences in our life and through deportation. And these tools allow us to deal with that here. When we get deported, we find out real quick that there's a lack of mental health resources available to us deportados here in Tijuana. The city, the government, they don't provide those kind of resources. So it's kind of like up to us to help each other. On that note, also, there's a lot of deportees who have been here a while now. And with all the new wave of people who are now getting deported, it's making easier for them to transition, with our guidance and with our lived experiences. It's just making it easier for the new deportados arriving here in Tijuana to succeed. This painting, I called it El Coyote. It reimagines the coyote not as a criminal, but as a guide and a protector. I painted the coyote with the Aztec-style mask that symbolizes wisdom, adaptability, being able to live and adapt to harsh environments. Here you see the coyote guiding a group of people through the desert. This one, I labeled it, The Migration is Not a Crime. It's based off the pre-Hispanic Codice Boturini. Basically, Codice Boturini, it covers the migration of our ancestors from Aztlan, which was located somewhere in the western United States, into what is now modern-day Mexico. So this is kind of like a new scene that I reimagined to let people know, we've been migrating for thousands of years, long before any man-made borders. We migrated following herds to not exhaust the resources. Our ancestors were aware of nature, were aware that we had to conserve it. And for many reasons, we would migrate. So migration has always been something natural. And now it has become criminalized. It's almost like we have become foreigners on our own ancestral lands. I painted the little kid in the picture with a hummingbird hoodie. The hummingbird has always been a symbol of perseverance, willpower. This piece is called Ni de aquí ni de allá, nor from here nor from there. It's a butterfly with the heart and the Mexican and the United States flag. To me, this piece speaks a lot. Me growing up in the United States, having been born in Mexico, they always teased me. They would call me paisa because the way I talk, my accent, the music that I listen to. And now that I'm deported and back in Mexico where I was born, I get teased the same way. They call me pocho because of my accent. And I've always felt that way, ni de aquí ni de allá, like I don't belong here or from there. This one is a farm worker working in the fields with ICE conducting surveillance and a raid behind him. It's a contrast between the hardworking farm worker and ICE who's using surveillance and raids to intimidate and strip our people of our dignity. To me, there's nothing more American than working the land and feeding the nation. And there's nothing more un-American than persecuting the people who do it. This one is a self-portrait of myself in front of the border wall. I called it Duermo poco, sueño mucho. I sleep very little and I dream a lot. And that's what's become of my life now that I'm deported. I've developed insomnia. I stay up all night just thinking about my situation. But I have a lot of dreams, and I know that there's a lot of opportunities here in Mexico, and I know that there's a lot of room for all of us to succeed here. Okay, I painted this guy with the mask in front of the border wall, with the COVID mask. I remember seeing this image during the times of COVID when they were using Title 42 against immigrants to say, you know what, you guys can't get political asylum right now. We're putting all that on pause, and we're using this health crisis to do that, which is very hypocritical. On one hand, you have the people, the mostly Republicans, say, I'm not going to wear a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask, but then they use that same crisis to create fear against migration. For a lot of us, the American dream is dead, it's unattainable, and it's out of reach. And for those of us, the American dream is unattainable now. It is now the new Mexican dream that we are living. Sometimes I hear the reports and the news stories going on in the United States of people who are about to get deported. And it's very depressing. It's very sad to see that. But I just wanted to send a message to tell them, to let the people know who are facing deportation, that it's not the end of the world. There is hope. And here in Tijuana, there's a whole new life to be had. It's a new beginning.